I like to think of myself as someone who likes to share, especially information, sometimes maybe a little too much. But today, I want to start by sharing an important lesson that I have learned in my life. So this knowledge has not only led to success in many areas of my life, but it is also helping me to be happier and to live a more fulfilled life. So why not share? Okay. So are you ready for it? Hopefully the suspense isn't too much for you. It is this: self-love has to be intentional. Self-love has to be intentional. Your brain wants to be efficient. It's programmed to follow your command, whether that is positive or negative. So, when you intentionally take action to care for your own well-being and your happiness, you're sending a message to your brain and to your subconscious mind that you are worthy of love. And guess what? If that is the message you're sending, then your subconscious mind, your brain, will do all it can to work for you, and in return, will look for evidence to let you know that in fact you are worth loving. Hi, my name is Fer Florimond, and welcome to my channel, where you will find content on how to be your best self and how to create happiness in your life. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. You can follow me for more content. But I'm glad you're here, and I'm even more excited that you found this video on self-love. Sometimes it's important to have that gentle reminder to love ourselves, and hopefully this message will serve as that reminder for you, or it'll just be a kick in the rear for you to love yourself. So let me go ahead and prop my notes up before I get started. In my last video, I introduced the concept of self-love, which is crucial to your health and your happiness. And your love comes from within. Okay? You cannot lose it, it cannot leave you. And the more you develop it, the happier you will become. Today, I want to dive a little deeper and talk about what self-love is and how you can cultivate it. So to begin, I want you to ponder the question: how do you show love for someone you care about? How do you show love for someone you care about? Is it spending quality time with them? Accepting them for who they are? Caring for and serving them? Comforting them? If I was a betting man, I would say you value their opinions, and you probably forgive them when they have wronged you, no matter how difficult it might be at times. We love differently, but these are some ways that we can show love for others. So let me tell you something. Self-love is no different. You can always choose self-love. It may not be easy, may not always be easy, and it does require effort, but you can do it. You can choose today to spend quality time with yourself, to accept the person you see in the mirror, to love and to care for and serve yourself, to comfort yourself, to go after things that you deserve instead of settling for less, and to forgive yourself, even after you've made mistakes or the mistakes that you're going to make. So if this is self-love, then why is it so oftentimes or sometimes difficult for us to practice self-love? Before moving on, I do want to acknowledge that mental illness is real. And in those cases, it is important to seek the help of a licensed professional. And for anyone who's struggling with mental illness, just know that going to a therapist and a counselor is practicing self-love. It is taking steps and actions in the right direction to better yourself and to improve yourself. And that can be very empowering. Now, for a lot of us, we prevent self-love by welcoming into our mind, into our home, thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that don't serve us. to demonstrate this, let's consider 4 misconceptions about self-love and how they can prevent you from practicing self-love. Misconception number 1 is that self-love is selfish. Misconception number 2 is that self-love makes you self-centered. Misconception number 3 is that self-love is for the weak. And misconception number 4 is that self-love will come when everything is right in your life, when you're successful, when you're more confident, and when you have more time to devote to it. So these are misconceptions. So let's think about the truth. So for the first one, where self-love is selfish, the truth is self-love helps us to learn more about who we are, to better ourselves, and that can help us to improve the relationships with people around us. With the misconception number 2, that self-love makes us self-centered, self-love does not mean that we put ourselves above other people, but it does mean that we grant compassion to ourselves, and that helps us to feel better, and that helps us to be more open, and we can show more compassion to others in our lives. Misconception number 3 is that self-love is for the weak. And let me just go ahead and say that that is in my opinion at least, is a weak argument. Okay, we all need self-love, regardless of our circumstances, whether we are rich, poor, young and old, weak or strong, and we all can benefit from self-love. And if you practice self-love, I truly do believe that you will experience less resentment, sadness, bitterness, and cries for help in this life. And with number 4, self-love will come when everything is right in your life. The truth is, self-love is a choice. You can always choose to practice self-love regardless of your circumstance. In fact, I do believe that self-love could be the missing piece that each of us may be missing in life in order for us to get things right, to improve all other aspects of our life. So as you can see, these 4 misconceptions can be limiting, and so believing them will stop us from practicing self-love. Instead, choose to put yourself first. Choose to put the effort and the time into practicing self-love, and that can help heal you and create a meaning and joy in your life. And this is something I have certainly experienced in my own life. What you may not know about me is that I come from a poor background. Growing up, I lived in areas with no electricity, no indoor plumbing. I moved to the United States when I was 12 and a half years old. And for my mom and my siblings, we struggled financially. Okay, so really, I've experienced this in my own life. I have gone through it, but let's just say that no, the odds were not in my favor. Growing up, I struggled with fear, doubt, shame, and humiliation as an immigrant, especially in school. Okay? And for a young boy who didn't speak English, it was difficult to feel important and to feel worthy. In fact, my very first day of school, I called home so my mom could come pick me up because I was sick. Okay? And of course, and you've probably guessed it already, I wasn't sick. Once I was home, I just stayed in bed and watched Power Rangers. Okay? Now, I will shamelessly deny this if you ever tell my mom. But over the years, no, I've had my fair share of experiences that have challenged my worth, but it is through self-love that I've come to realize my worth. Okay? It is by being patient with myself, by forgiving myself, and by accepting who I am, the person I see in the mirror, the imperfections, the quirks, and all. And because of that, I am more comfortable in my own skin. And I'm a better person because of it, not just for me, but for other people in my life as well. So if you want to change your life for the better, for good, love and appreciate yourself unconditionally. Just do it. Okay? So if you believe that self-love is selfish, you can say goodbye to that lie and just watch it disappear into the distance. Also, you may have heard that you can't love yourself and you can't love others until you love yourself. No, I don't believe it necessarily needs to be that way. Okay, and sometimes we just need to love and serve others in the terrible, miserable state condition that we are in order to find parts of us that we can truly love. Okay, so I don't necessarily think we have to love ourselves before we can go and serve other people. Okay, so forgetting ourselves and putting others first sometimes can be that ticket we need from the land of misery and to the island of paradise. Okay. So decide today that you will love and appreciate yourself, no matter how difficult it may sound to you at this very moment. You can do hard things, and I believe in you. Now, if I could do it, and so can you, and I know you can.